All right, I'm here with Colin Nathan. I mean, ahead of a great fight that's coming up. First question, though, and I think a lot of people have been asking, where's Colin Nathan been these first 2 episodes, apart from the one small scene in the gym?
Yeah, I landed up in hospital. I didn't have COVID, though, but I had a sinus and ear infection, and I was like writhing in agony to the point where I haven't felt this pain since Russia. To the point where I messaged the coordinator and I was like, look, mate, I need to go to a hospital because I'm just like in immense agony. So yeah, but I'm good now. I'm on the mend. Did 20,000 steps today with you. So yeah, I'm alive. Thank God.
And have you been enjoying the food again here in Japan?
Well, the food's the best in the world. I mean, the sushi's on another level if you eat sushi. So, and even the meats, like, it's just incredible. You know, we did one of those barbecues last time. We haven't done it yet now. We'll probably do it in Tokyo, but the food is just like, it's like next level. You can't compare the sushi back in South Africa to like Japan. It's like different levels. It's like comparing a Fiat to a Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day as well, that's what we've got to do. You know, you said that about Lorenzo Glamini in his last fight, that he's a Lamborghini. And Sivanati's coming into this fight as a world champion. Of course, he's a really big star. What's your thoughts on the fight now that we're getting so close to it?
Look, I think it's a hard fight. I think, you know, Yabuki's got serious kickback power. Equally, so does Nontshinga. But I think the better skilled fighter is going to win this fight. And obviously it's going to come down to tactics. We've got a solid game plan. And I think Sivanati is just technically a little bit better, a little sharper. And I think that's going to be the difference in the fight. Yabuki tends to throw a lot of volume punches from different angles, which is always dangerous. But I think Sivanati is a little bit more precision. And I think, you know, that's just obviously how I see it playing. I think Yabuki's going to have two shades to him. He's going to come forward, throw a lot of punches, and then I also think he's going to try and step back on his right foot, right leg to try and draw Sivanati in. And that's how I see the fight playing out. So I think it might be a tactical fight as well, but I'm very confident that we're going to win the fight.
I also want to throw in Phumelela Kafu as well, now that I've got you here, and obviously this has all been about Siva so far, but can we get a little word in on what status updates about Kafu and how things are going in Tokyo?
Yeah, so Larry, Shannon, and Mike have settled Phumelela in very, very well. Very, very happy the way things are going. His weight's good. He's looking sharp. He's up for it. We've been in constant contact. So listen, it's a hard fight for him as well, you know. But again, Hayden, I want to point this out, that we're talking about credible world championships. We're talking about legitimacy for South African boxing. Big congratulations to Kevin Lerena being elevated to WBC Bridgerweight World Champion. Congratulations to him. But going back to these two fights, I think they're massive fights. They're not easy fights. But equally, we're not protecting our boys. We're putting them in the lion's den because we feel that they're good enough to win. And I wouldn't be sitting here this confident if I didn't think so.
Not too far away from this, where we're staying is the venue for the fighting. Very convenient for Siva just to walk to his fight venue. Yeah,
it's beautiful. I mean, it's quite laid back here in Tokoni to Nagoya, so people are friendly. You know, Japanese people are very cultured, they're very respectful. But in terms of walking, it's probably about a 10-minute walk. So it's great. We can go in quickly, leave out quickly, and then pack up and then obviously head off to Tokyo.
How's the work been with Bernie, Pellman, Best?
Well, all you have to do is follow our stories. So, you know, they laugh a minute. But it's great, you know, everyone's working together as one. It's a great team. Funny, we're the special ones team. Kevin Rooney from Matchroom came in today from America. It was great seeing him. He's very jet lag, shame, so he'll probably surface tomorrow. But it's been a great camp. You know, Siva is such a professional. I mean, he doesn't hang out with us. You've seen that. Does his training, eats what he needs to eat, goes back to his hotel room. He rests, he sleeps, and he's just focused on one thing, and that's to retain the championship. Equally, the same thing with Phumelela. So it's not like we're here on a holiday. We're here to fight and we're here to win. So right now it's tunnel vision on the two fights for me. It's all about winning, getting the guys ready, keeping them ready, and obviously producing the results.
you're no stranger to Japan. 6 fights, you got 4 wins and 2 losses. Obviously, you want to keep that record going upwards.
Obviously, I love to win. That's my business. I work to win. Every time I walk into my office or walk on the floor coaching, I want to win. So I'm very competitive, and that's why I do these kind of fights. I want to test myself as well, Hayden. Like I could be a smaller version champion and manager trainer of champions, but I want to test my abilities as well. And the only way you test them is to take on hard, challenging fights like we have now. And if you don't take the gamble, and if you don't throw your fighters in, and I believe both fighters are going to win the fights, but I also know that the time is right for both fighters. But you protect a fighter to a certain point, and then they have to fight credible challengers or credible champions. And that's what I like to do. It's like I like to test myself as well, as a trainer, as a manager, and I want to know how good my fighters are. I want to know how good I am as a trainer, as a manager. So, and also I feel if you want authenticity and legitimacy for your career, you got to take on these challenges. You got to take on these fights. And I've never been scared of a challenge. And yeah, I mean, some people feel probably the odds are stacked against both fighters, but I know we can win. That's why I'm sitting here. I wouldn't have taken the fights if I didn't feel that we were going to win.
Are you worried at all about Yabuki's punching power? I know that this is a well-documented question, has been asked, but just for the audience out there.
Of course, you have to be worried because he's got the equalizer. So it's very important that Sive follows the game plan, is very focused for every second of every minute of every round. But I think against a puncher, you have to be cautious. Look what happened with Michael Muro with George Foreman back in 1994. Muro was ahead of points and then he just walked onto a monstrous right hand. So it obviously is a concern, but equally, we've got to take on these kind of fights. He's a mandatory, and we have to fight the mandatory. So again, I feel that I've got the superior athlete, the superior champion, the better skilled fighter, and I think that's going to come into effect on Saturday.
Sive dreams about being a unified world champion. After this fight, is that what you're going to look to push for?
I haven't thought about the next step. I've thought about winning. That's the first project on my mind. That's the first major mission, is to get Saturday out the way and win impressively and retain his title impressively. So after that, you can ask me the question, but right now it's all focus is on Yabuki and Tanaka.
During the media day, it was a little bit less tense than the last media day that we went to with Lorenzo Glamini. Any reason that you think about that and as to why?
I prefer not to. I mean, I don't even want to give that guy airtime. Yeah, it's like, whatever.
And just thinking about, the build-up in Japan, it's obviously different. People would see in South Africa, we're used to having all the boxers there at one time. In Japan, it happens to be one box at a time for a media day.
It's just going back to the last question on the last media day. Again, you never take anything to heart. This is sports and it's business. But it's nice to do it individually. Going back to your question, it's nice to do it individually. The focus is on that fight and that fighter. And I think that's probably the right thing to do, especially at this kind of level, especially when you're dealing with a world championship.
Yeah, and I think for Sive as well, it was important for him. But do you think psychologically it's good for the boxers not to see each other up until the weigh-in?
Look, again, I think it's nothing personal. It's business. We in a sport where people have to hurt each other. That's just the reality of what we do. So I don't think it makes much of a difference. I think fighters are wired to a certain way that they know they have to let their hands go and inflict damage. And I think at the end of the day, it's not going to really make a difference. They're going to meet eventually, whether it's before, during, press conferences and media days. It doesn't really make a difference. They've had training camps. We've had training camps. Fighters know what they're getting themselves into. So equally, I think the guys know.
Are we getting the same concentrated version of Sive? And during this fight week, have you seen that same version of him that we saw in Mexico?
Yes, and you can see it in his eyes. You can see that hunger. You can see that desire to remain champion, and it means a lot to him. Being a two-time world champion, it does mean a lot to him. It means a lot to all of us. It means a lot to South Africa. So I see him fired up. I see him shadowboxing with that right hand when we're walking around. Very occasionally, I might add. But he's definitely charged up and fired up, and he's in the zone.
What's your actual prediction for the fight?
I think everyone's expecting like a knockout. I think Siva's got the ability to outpoint this guy convincingly and outsmart him. So I'm expecting a win. If a knockout comes, we'll take it. But Yabuki's tough. He's going to be game. He's got that warrior mentality. We've seen it against Kinshiro Teraji in the first fight. And I think he knows that this is probably his last shot. So I know that Siva is going to win the fight. It's just a question of how he's going to win the fight.
And tell me something, him and Yabuki at the weigh-in, do you expect any drama, or do you think it'll be straightforward?
No, I think it'll be straightforward. I think, I don't think there'll be any smack talking or, listen, we can't speak Japanese, he can't speak English, so what are they going to do? Like, pull each other's zap signs? I mean, let's be real.
It's possible.
Nah, I doubt it. Not in this culture, not in this country.
All right, Cole, I'm gonna leave it there. We're getting to the episode points of...
yeah, and you didn't bring your tripod, so your hands...
No. Explain to them how stable I'm holding this camera.
No, you're shaking, dude.
No, man.
No, you
All right, Cole, and thank you. That's a wrap from Nathan's friend. Thank you very much.